All right, so now that we've talked about the basics and tracking and your mindset, I want to talk to you guys about the food, right? Like that's the biggest piece of this. It's all driven by your food choices. So Autumn goes over the things that we are cutting out. So I'm not going to go into that here, but what I want you to do is look at the calculation to figure out which bracket you fall into. I personally fell into bracket A. So for me, it was 6 vegetables, 2 fruits, a yellow A, a yellow B, 2 red A's, 2 red B's, and then a blue and an orange. So that was my daily makeup. Now, along the lines of making this program work for you, I have found that those red B's, the red B items, I struggled with. I'm not big on the beans to begin with. I do like quinoa, so that was the one that I did use when I used it. Every day I had my Shakeology, so that was one guaranteed vegan protein source that I could use, but often my days included 3 animal proteins and 1 plant protein. I still got really good results. Similarly, when it comes to the yellows, I pretty much had oatmeal every day. So my oatmeal would be, oh, the dog needs to go outside. My oatmeal would give me the yellow A, and then for my yellow B's, it usually was potatoes. I would do either sweet potatoes or regular potatoes. I'm a big creature of habit. So once I figured out what was working for me, the same plan I kept in place throughout the 4 weeks. I just alternated the vegetable that I use, the fruits that I use, like those types of things. Because one of the things, oh my gosh, I have to go let her pause, guys. All right, if I had video editing skills, I would edit that out, but I don't. So you just have to hit pause and now bam, back. Okay, so with the meal plan, once I figure out what worked for me, I would alternate things in because one of the things that Autumn recommends is 30 plant points. Now, your plant points aren't just vegetables, so understand that. It's also mint that you put in your water or the fruits. It's fruits and vegetables. I use, like, when I make my oatmeal, I'm like, well, I'm going to add in my cinnamon, and then I'm going to add in some goji berries and blueberries and strawberries. And the more things that chia seeds, flaxseed, like those plants, the seeds, those all count too. So keep that in mind that it is not just it's not just your vegetables, 30 vegetables in a week. It's actually all plants that grow. Quinoa, oatmeal, those were plant points as well. So my plan for the week, I'm going to share with you what mine is, and then I'll share some example meal plans in this document that gives you reference points. But the idea is you have to make it work for you. So how's it going to work for you in a way that's going to allow you to find your groove and feel full and satisfied and not feel like you're on this diet? Every single week, and I'm still doing it now, I make 2 different bakes. One is an oatmeal bake, and the other one is an egg bake. The oatmeal bake, and I'll put the recipes in here, so I won't do them. I'll actually type them out and put them in a document. But the oatmeal bake would be enough for me and my husband. Sometimes it would I'd make sure he had enough to take to work because he did it with me. And then if I'd either make a second bake later in the week, or I would just make a bowl of oatmeal because it's the same type of stuff. But every week I'd make an oatmeal bake and I'd make an egg bake. My veggies that I put in the egg bake differed: peppers, onions, always jalapenos. Different seasonings that I could use. Sometimes I'd saute the vegetables before baking them. Sometimes I would just throw it in. You can add chicken sausage with broccoli is a really good combo. So many different things that you can do. But I would make an egg bake. I'd have my oatmeal bake for breakfast. I typically would do my fresh juice. I started juicing a couple months ago and I love it. I used the power greens from Beachbody because that was an extra way I could get greens in. I would take some of my fresh juice, mixed with the power greens. I would count that as a purple and my green for the day, or one of my greens. And then for lunch was usually my egg bake with either sweet potatoes or regular potatoes. I did make the gluten-free bread, which was really good. So some days it was my egg bake with the bread. My afternoon became my Shakeology. If I was in a hurry, it was simply shaken and ran out the door. If I wasn't in a hurry, I would blend it. I started adding riced cauliflower to my shake. It gives it a nice, like the frozen rice cauliflower, nice creamy texture. Doesn't really change the flavor. So I would do my cookies and cream Shakeology, spinach or cauliflower, some nut butter. I usually just started using water as the base. It was just easy, and I was using almond milk in my matcha lattes now. So I was like, well, I'll use I don't need the almond milk in my shake anymore. So I'd have the shake as like an afternoon, especially as like the kids are getting home and they're having their snack. To me, it gave me something that I could snack on and filling and curve that afternoon craving before dinner. Dinner varied. Chili, we would do like spaghetti squash taco bake was a really good one. I made burgers a couple times, meatloaf a couple times, meatballs. Spaghetti squash with sauce and the meatballs was a really good combo and something that I could then make pasta for the kids to where I'm not like obviously making a whole bunch of different things. I would do a sheet pan of vegetables. So I did a lot of zucchini, squash, carrots, and onions, and I would just throw it in the oven and bake it and then eat those vegetables throughout the week. I did Brussels sprouts like every week. I love air fried Brussels sprouts. And a lot of my meal prep, I would cook the bulk veggies and the protein, grill up the chicken, make the burgers, and then just piece together the dinners. Our nights, I don't know where you're at in your season of life, our nights are busy. So cooking dinner every single night and being able to sit down and eat wasn't always the case because we're often dividing and going two separate ways with the kids. But I didn't want to go, we couldn't just grab food quickly at a baseball concession stand. So I would combo something like the burgers worked really well because it was good on the go, but burgers with the veggies. I usually already had my yellows by that point in the day because I usually was having potatoes with lunch and oatmeal with breakfast. There were days that if I was still hungry, I had a third yellow. My plan A is 2. Some days I had 3. Again, not about starvation, deprivation. You want to be full and satisfied at the end of every meal. So that's one of the other ways that I adapted it. But that was my general plan. Oatmeal bake, egg bake, juice with power greens, Shakeology with a veggie. Also, when I had my juice, I usually had some cashews with it as well. Or I would put avocado on my eggs. Kind of that's how I would intertwine in my blues for the day. And then I just kind of rinse, washed, and repeated that. So a lot of people, they might have their shake for breakfast because it's easy on the go. The oatmeal bake that I share, that's a great on the go. I ate that at the airport twice because I traveled twice throughout my first 4 weeks. I ate it at the airport. I just put it in a little bag in a container, put it in my carry-on, and ate it. It was much healthier than trying to find something at the airport, and it was so good. And it's something that, to me, you can eat cold or warm. So also, we had a lot of early morning baseball games, so the oatmeal bake was something easy to take with us when we hit the road for those games where we could eat it. It's like eating like a cake. But you can eat it on the go as well. So just wanted to give you that lowdown on the meal plan. Talk a little bit about the plant points. Make sure you understand that it's not just vegetables, that it's anything that grows is considered a plant point. The point of that is give your body different variety of foods because your body does best if you switch it up. One of my girlfriends actually said to me, she's like, I try to eat seasonally and I try to switch up my foods every quarter. So similarly, like I said, I make my oatmeal bake, right? And I usually do banana and blueberries. And she's like, so as the seasons change, add different fruits in there. You know, maybe get rid of the blueberries and add raspberries. Maybe get rid of the banana. And banana's like kind of hard. That's a base one. So maybe go to the vegetable route, right? So instead of using the peppers and onions, maybe you switch up and do banana peppers whenever, you know, people's gardens are fresh and you can go to the farmer's market. Not the best example. This will actually be a struggle for me to switch things up, but she explained that just like the seasons and the world change, our body changes kind of on a quarterly basis too. So if you can switch up the foods that you're giving, your body gets used to what you're feeding it. So if you switch it up and give your body something new, it like gives it a new challenge and it's really good for your digestive system. I don't know that I explained it the way the scientific base of my friend explained it, but the point was that what I took away from it was variety is really key in a really good, solid working digestive system. So that's that. Last thing I want to talk to you guys about is supplements because our Beach21 sold out super quick. I do have a link to a different probiotic that I use, and a girlfriend of mine recommended somebody else's digestive enzymes. I'm really hoping that our Beachbody ones come back in stock here in the next couple weeks because I personally found them very beneficial. They really did help keep my digestive system moving along smoothly. And I understand the benefits of the probiotic and digestive enzymes to where I want to continue them. I still have them because I had the auto ship of them. But any new customers can't get them. So I want to make sure I link you guys some other options if you want to check those out as well. All right, so that's my food thing. I will link some more videos and recipes in this document for you as well. But as I'm going through, if you've got questions, shoot them over. I'm happy to answer.